This is my grandfather Walter, and he likes to read Reddit stories.
First time posting, let me know if I'm doing it wrong. English is my first language, so please excuse me if there are any errors. I'm currently going to college for my BA. My youngest is currently in middle school and in a program through the school to help them with their learning disability that they were diagnosed with last year. They are on medication to help with it. The school my kid goes to has been getting in many new teachers this year due to issues last year. Daily fights, inappropriate behaviour leading to pregnancy and illegal substance use, to name a few. I haven't had a chance to meet some of these new teachers yet, but it's pretty well known by the staff and teachers that stayed that I'm a single mum in uni. I pick my courses around when my kids are in school, so as they are not leaving or coming home to an empty house because living in a terrible neighbourhood is cheap and the only way I can swing this on my own. The problem, I've gotten 4+ phone calls since school started, not even a month ago, during my class about my child's misbehaviour. The misbehaving being their head being down on their desk, going to the bathroom without asking, passing notes in class, not sitting in their assigned seats. I've been told by other students and parents that a majority of the students ignore the teachers and don't sit in their assigned seats. I keep my ringer off, but my phone on me because there have been actual emergencies in the past where my kids have needed me to leave class and bring them to the ER for stitches, bonk their head on the playground equipment, or needed clean undies. I sent a message out to everybody at the beginning of the week to not contact me before my last class ends, and I still received a phone call from a teacher about a non-emergency issue during my class this week. I spoke with the assistant principal about this issue, and they said they would talk to the teachers about this. Was I wrong to escalate things that far over something like this? Now here are the comments. Comment 1. You're the idiot. This teacher may have as many as 200 students. It's really not reasonable for you to expect her to remember the exact times you want to be called. A lot of parents can't answer when I call them at work. No one had ever gotten mad. They call back later, or I try again the next day. They call when it's convenient for them. Give them your email address. I prefer to email parents because it's faster, and I don't have to track down an available phone. I'm not sure why people are acting like these behaviours aren't a big deal. Leaving class without permission is a big deal. My school doesn't allow kids to go in the middle of class because of vaping. You need to talk to your daughter. Why is she doing that? Is she sick? Does she not have time to go to the bathroom during the proper time? Is she being told no and then walking out anyway? Why is she sleeping in class? What time is she going to bed? Is she having trouble sleeping? Sleeping in class can often indicate something bigger is wrong, as well as cause a student to fail since they are asleep and not doing their work. Be a team with these teachers. They obviously care about your kid, so work together instead of getting mad at them for doing their job. Comment 2. Not the idiot. The misbehaviour you've listed is well within a teacher's purview to deal with. They're wasting your time and theirs by calling you about these insignificant things that could be easily corrected by them because there's precisely zero you can do about it from your own class. Do they expect you to get your daughter on the phone and correct her behaviour yourself? Do they expect you to come and pick her up just because she's not sitting in her assigned seat? I struggled with a similar thing when my daughter started school. She's also neurodivergent, and initially I was getting calls every time she took more than a minute to comply with a request, or if she got a bit emotional about something. I ended up having to say to admin, if she is being truly disruptive or gets worked up to the point where you can't calm her down, please call me and I will come immediately. But please do not persist with calling me for every tiny infraction because I cannot leave work every time she needs to be asked to do something twice. Those are things I can be informed about at the end of the day when I pick her up, or via email if you would like. Once I was this blunt, it stopped. Comment 3. You're the idiot. The only reason you've gotten 4+ phone calls since school has started is one of 2 reasons. A, the teacher is very new and doesn't understand priorities. This is rare, but I've seen it. B, your child is having pretty substantial difficulties, and if you love them, you need to be doing more. Asterisk, asterisk. What specific steps have you taken to work on your child's behaviour in school already? You didn't mention any in the post. Just saying don't tell me about it is not fulfilling your responsibilities to your child or to your larger community. I would talk to the AP and just double-check it isn't the first case. But if not, these situations tend to get worse if you do nothing. If you don't step in now, don't be surprised by the low grades, the suspension for worse behaviour, getting someone pregnant or becoming pregnant, etc. Speaking from experience as a former teacher, Mum doesn't answer calls from the school. Kids run into more problems than any other type of kids. Now for the next story. Throwaway account. My ex asked for my most recent W-2 so he could look at adjusting child support, as our oldest just left for college, and so has aged out, and I recently got a somewhat significant pay raise. I gave him that info, and he gave his. After looking at the numbers using our state's child support calculator, accounting for our current custody arrangements with our remaining children, we found he should actually be paying more than double what he has been paying since our divorce. He has since decided he no longer wants to adjust child support. Would I be the idiot if I do pursue it? Details below. TW. References to self-harm and suicide ideation. Backstory. I've been divorced for 6 years, and my ex and I have 4 kids. At the time of our divorce, my ex and I did not hire lawyers, neither of us could afford it, and just used our state's online forms. When it came to child support, I agreed to adjust the amount my ex had to pay to be $340/month, though the state child support calculator showed he should have been paying $860/month. I knew he'd never be able to afford the full amount. He had massive CC debt for his pay scale, and my kids' quality of life would be negatively affected while at his house. I agreed to an amount that was the bare minimum I needed to be able to survive. For the next few years, when my kids would ask to go see a movie, or buy this or that, or anything that had a cost, my answer 95% of the time was no, I'm sorry, I can't afford that. Meanwhile, their dad purchased outdoor recreation vehicles, upgrades for his truck, and took his wife to Hawaii twice, honeymoon and 1-year anniversary. When COVID hit, I decided to get my master's degree so I could get bumped up to the highest pay scale in my field, education, so still less than most jobs. I finished that a year ago and began seeing my increase of pay August 2022. Also in August 2022, my daughter came to me and asked if she could live with me full-time. She come out as lesbian to her dad, highly religious conservative, 2 years before, and he kept pushing religion and anti-LGBTQ rhetoric onto her to try and change her mind. She admitted to me minor self-harm, no blood drawn or things that could cause death, and suicide ideation due to her treatment at his house. I immediately hired a lawyer on a credit card and got her out of that situation. Her dad's only recurring demand was that I don't change the child support he had to pay. His exact words, "I will sign the new child custody plan if you will add the following language. I, my name, will not ask for or file for an increase in child support based on the children deciding to live with me," or something to that effect. I did not agree to put that language into a legally binding document, but did agree to not pursue changing the child support. My only concern was getting my daughter into a safer environment, and with my pay raise, I didn't need more child support. When that battle was over and my daughter moved all her stuff from her dad's house to mine, my son, oldest child, decided to move in with me, full-time too. Due to feeling used, my son had to drive his siblings everywhere, and he openly calls Dad an AH. At the time of this custody change, and out of curiosity, I used my state's child support calculator to see how much the child support should be, with 2 kids split custody 50-50 and 2 with me full-time, using my new pay info and X's pay info from 5 years before. He had gotten a raise each year, but I didn't know the amount. It showed that X should have been paying me over $1,000 month. So, for the last year, I've known that my kids and I were entitled to more than 3x what he was paying, and I said nothing. Now that I have his current pay info, I plugged all the numbers into the calculator again, and it shows that even with my son aged out, X should still be paying $700/month, approx 2x, what he currently pays, until my daughter ages out next year, at which time it'll drop to him paying $100/month for our remaining 2 children, if custody remains the same. Would I be the idiot if I pursue adjusting child support at this time, knowing he will struggle financially to make that payment? Now here are the comments. Comment 1, file the petition. The court won't care in the least as to why your daughter came to live with you. They simply see her as a mouth that must be fed. Your state child support guidelines represents the collective opinion as to what's fair. Don't be fair to him. Don't be fair to yourself. Be fair to the children, because the child support is for them and their needs. Comment 2. You would be an idiot if you didn't file. He is taking advantage of your good nature. Ask yourself if the roles were reversed and he had primary custody. Would he allow you to pay him half of what he was entitled to? I don't think so, because he obviously likes buying toys. Comment 3. Not the idiot. Of course he decided he didn't want to change it. He's getting the better deal leaving it. Why should you continue to accept less than half while he simultaneously creates a hostile environment to the point your daughter was in such pain? Now, for the next story. Backstory a bit. My ex and I, 31-year-old female, were together for a very long time. Close to 11 years. My ex, 35-year-old male, was an addict. He drank every single day to excess and did drugs. We had 2 kids together before I eventually left. For about a year we didn't talk, and he didn't bother to see the children because he wasn't an active parent. He was pretty abusive due to his addiction, or perhaps just his personality. About 11 months after breaking up, I started dating someone, my now husband, and he was not happy about it, so he found someone to date himself. The relationship escalated very quickly, and by 4 months they'd gotten married to show the court that he was stable, because we were in a custody battle. It made him look good. Fast forward to now. My ex is divorcing the girl that he married, but naturally, that didn't work out. When I suddenly get a message from another girl that had been speaking to him. She asked me if I was his wife, because he had been dating her and sleeping with other women as well. I told her that I wasn't the wife, but I was with him for a while, and this is where I may be in the wrong. After she had spoken to me for quite some time, she remained anonymous. She didn't want me to know who she was, but because he had talked so much about me. She did let me see the screenshots, and it was terrible stuff, not to be unexpected. We don't get along or have a good relationship, but he's also dragging his wife through the mud as well. So I sent his wife the screenshots, letting her know exactly what was going on. Like I said, they are in the process of getting divorced, so I am just helping her in the divorce petty, yeah, but women help women, especially with boys like this. Then women started coming out of the woodwork, so I posted on a site for women asking if anyone else was dating this man. Quite a few women came forth and said that not only were they dating him, but he had tried to live with them, he tried to move with them very quickly, he was trying to sleep with them, etc. So everyone that got in touch with me, I let them know the situation. He was still married, he is abusive, he is dangerous. And we shared screenshots as well, showing just how toxic he could be. I know it sounds ridiculous, but just as I didn't want any women getting hurt, I also feel badly for putting him on blast. He is the father of my children, but he's not a good person. So am I the idiot, or am I just being petty and doing the right thing to protect other women from the abuse and violence I went through? Edit to add, what prompted me to make the post warning others was this. When he was asked about sexually assaulting me in court, his answer was no, I never did anything she didn't ask for. This was so scary as he said it, looking dead into my eyes as my jaw dropped. While reading the screenshots, I noticed they were flirting about their upcoming date night, and the girl had stopped texting as she was working. He then sent a follow-up text that said, "Don't worry, I won't do anything you don't ask for." This almost made me cry. My heart sank. I begged her to stay as far away as possible. He raped me for 10 years, and she was almost next. I was so grateful to whatever God brought her to me, because no one deserves that, and he needs to be held accountable. Now, here are the comments. Comment 1, not the idiot. A woman posted something similar, a warning on her Facebook page about a man I was dating, and I was able to block and move on before he became aggressive, stole money like he did to her and many others. I am very grateful she did that and saved me the trouble, pain and suffering. I sent her screenshots as well, so she was able to pass that on to his wife, that he hid from me to help her in divorcing him too. They play dirty, so should expect to get dragged through the mud too. They should not be able to get away with it. Natural consequences. Comment 2, not the idiot. I warned my ex's new supply about his history of domestic violence he went to jail for. She shrugged it off as me being a bitter ex, and I never contacted him again, but then a few years later, she put him in jail for him trying to kill her too. OP, you did what you felt you needed to do. You warned her, and you're not culpable for what happens next. Comment 3, you are good if the information is accurate and your intent true. Looks like both are here. Use care to protect your identity. This is a valuable collection if he does something really bad. Tell no one you are doing this if they can identify you. Thank you for protecting the many. Now, for the next story. I've just come out of surgery and I'm not able to walk at all for the next week. I don't mean by choice, but I mean physically don't have the muscle choice to stand up or walk. This is only temporary, and I should start to slowly get better starting next week. I have no other family or friends except my husband, who I moved for 5,000 miles away. On Fridays he goes to visit his family. Well, today he went to see them again and has been gone for 6 hours, knowing fully well that I'm home alone, have no capability to go to the bathroom, get food, get water, anything really. I mean, he didn't ask me if he can go, and I didn't tell him that shouldn't, but I just felt like it's common sense. Well, now I'm home alone and honestly really disappointed in the fact that I've been abandoned sitting in bed all day, while he sent 3 texts total to ask if I'm okay. Am I just being sensitive, or should he have been considerate enough to stay home with me? Update. He has now come home. I told him that I need him to stay home with me tomorrow, and his answer was, I have plans to go to the arcade during the day. I can be here all night though. Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. At 35 he should fricking know better. And at 27 you should be able to advocate for yourself without falling for the guilt trip he lays on you. Seriously? What kind of jackass leaves his incapacitated wife for over 6 hours to visit his family? I'm outspoken enough at 57 that I would let him know that I have a long memory and he will regret the day he needs my help like I needed his. Just an FYI, by 50 you have very little fucks left to give. Dear God, do not have children with this man. This is just a preview of what that will look like. Comment 2. Second time I've seen your post, separate places. You have to ask if your husband leaving you home alone and unable to do so much as toilet yourself is wrong? Should you be mad? YBTA. You're the idiot to yourself for not handing his sorry ass to him on a platter for this behaviour. Just how conditioned to neglect and abuse have you been in life? The bar for male behavioural standards is literally in hell. Comment 3. Not the idiot, but why didn't you tell him that you're not okay when he texted? Both of you need to communicate more. He should have asked if you'd be all right. You should have said you wouldn't be. But not the idiot for feeling bad. I know I would too. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.